Gloria Mount has dedicated her life to help descendants of secret Jews, the Anusim, who were forced to hide their Jewish identity during the Spanish Inquisition. Many are now trying to establish their eligibility to make Aliyah, immigrate to Israel, claiming that as their ancestors did not convert to Christianity, they should not be required to undergo conversion here.
There are many Anusim who did not convert. It's a mistake to think that the Inquisition managed to make all of them convert. I've met many cases where they're very proud of the fact that they didn't convert. Therefore, when the rabbis ask them to convert at this end, they won't do it. When we took one case to the Supreme Court, which we ultimately won, the rabbis the judges turned around and said, "We know nothing about this." They adjourned the case for 4 months while they went to study it before they gave a pronouncement.
She and her late husband Leslie has amassed a unique library of over 2,500 books and thousands of documents on the subject, which are now housed at the Casa Shalom, the Institute for Marano Studies at the Netanya Academic College.
It's very important that as many people as possible know about it, and know how to handle the applications that we get. If the books were just left on the shelves without anybody to help, it would not be adequate. We had somebody here who was born in Montevideo, now lives in Australia, has in his family the legend that they are Jews, and he wants to prove it, he wants to come here. Now he had two choices. He's either going to have to go through a form of conversion as a non-Jew, but he would much prefer to get a return certificate. It's very important to be able to know how to look for Jewish customs within the family. So many of the families today do things believing that they're family customs. Anybody with a Spanish or Portuguese background, the law of the family is above the law of the country. And if that's the way my mother or my grandmother did something, it's my duty to continue doing it that way. They don't even think about it being a Jewish custom. One of the customs is that you don't sweep the floor with the rubbish out the door. When you ask each person the reason, they will all give you the same answer. Because of the mezuzah. You've got no mezuzah on the door. No, we couldn't get a mezuzah, we didn't have the means, but that's our respect for the mezuzah, not to put the rubbish out the door. Unfortunately, particularly in Israel, there is not enough teaching of this subject in the schools. It's no good teaching the children to be proud of the country by taking them on Tiluim all over the country. Another way to be proud of what you are, I think, is to show what your forebears did. I think in this way we would get much more pride amongst the young people. A person in Ibiza called Nito Vedera did wonderful work about the origins of Columbus not being Italian but being Spanish. For example, the local language was Catalan, and he pointed out that when Columbus wrote Spanish, he made the grammatical mistakes of a Catalan, not the grammatical mistakes that an Italian would make. And then we noticed this question of sort of hieroglyphics that Columbus used to put in the top right-hand corner of his letters, and then we noticed that this was only done when he was sending the letter to somebody in his family, not to an official. And we took an example of this writing to Professor Yosef Assis and Professor Yosef Kaplan from the Hebrew University, without telling them anything about where we got it from or what the findings were from other people. They immediately said it was Bet Samad Daled. Then we told them that Nito had taken the papers to the Chief of Secret Police Graphology Department in Spain, who had pronounced that the letters were written the Jewish way.
Gloria Maun recently returned from Spain and Portugal, where she visited isolated villages that were for generations Jewish hideaways and only now coming out of the closet to the outside world, on both sides of the border.